Welcome back to Investing Talk podcast. Today we're taking a closer look at Iamgold, ticker IAG. You sent in a really interesting collection of information, recent news, financials, analyst takes, and our goal is to sort of pull out what you really need to know about where this gold miner stands and, well, where it might be going. We've got details on, recent performance, management changes, market reaction, the bigger industry picture, potential risks, opportunities, and what the analysts are saying.
Right. And also their business model, stock history, financial health, revenue production, debt levels.
And even a due diligence report on valuation, management, competitors. It's quite a stack.
It is.
Okay, let's unpack this. Feels like there's a story unfolding here.
It certainly does. Looking at this info, the immediate takeaway seems to be a company that's seen a pretty significant operational turnaround recently.
You can say that again. Their total gold production in 2024, 667,000 ounces. What really jumps out at you about that figure?
Well, the sheer size of the increase, right? A 43% jump compared to the year before.
Wow.
That kind of growth isn't something you see every day. It often points to, a fundamental shift. Makes you wonder, is this the new baseline for them, or was it a specific one-off factor?
Well, alongside that big production number, they also hit record revenues in 2024. Seems like more gold is translating directly to the bottom line.
That's the logical link, yes. More production, assuming gold prices hold up, should mean higher revenue. But the key question for investors is, are those higher revenues leading to sustainable profits?
Good point. And looking forward, the outlook for 2025 seems really tied to their Côté Gold Mine. The information suggests that as this mine ramps up, it's going to be a huge driver for continued production growth.
It definitely looks like the linchpin for their future growth. I mean, if next year's production increase really hinges on Côté getting fully operational, its success is just paramount.
So what makes this mine so important? And are there risks relying so heavily on it?
Well, the due diligence report we have actually touches on that.
Oh, yeah.
It mentions Côté's ramp-up is among the quickest in Canada. That's true. Well, that suggests they're pretty efficient at bringing this major asset online.
That's definitely a good sign, right? Suggests good management, maybe ahead of schedule, under budget, potentially.
That speed is really noteworthy. A faster ramp-up means revenue comes in quicker, and it can give them an edge getting product to market faster than maybe some competitors could manage.
Now, the market certainly noticed all this positive news. On April 9th, 2025, their stock jumped. What was it? 10.5%?
A big jump, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think drove that immediate enthusiasm?
Well, that kind of sharp move usually reflects a big shift in investor confidence, doesn't it? The strong production numbers, the positive outlook from Côté, it probably signaled things are improving.
And that positive feeling often gets a boost when analysts chime in, too.
And they did. Canaccord and National Bank both raised their price targets. Canaccord to see $13, National Bank even higher to see $15, and both kept an outperform rating.
Right. That kind of professional endorsement can really influence how investors feel. When respected firms up their expectations, it validates the story and can pull in more investment.
So on the surface, production, market reaction, looks very good. But we always need to look under the hood, right? Check the financial health. What are the sources telling us there?
Good call. On the plus side, their $650 million credit facility being extended to 2028. That provides a pretty solid financial safety net.
Okay.
And their reported liquidity, around $767 million at the end of last year, suggests they have, a decent amount of cash on hand for immediate needs.
That definitely provides some comfort, short-term stability-wise.
Yeah.
But I also saw mentions of red flags in the materials.
Yeah.
What are the main worries?
Well, while liquidity is strong, the sources do point to fairly high debt, a leverage ratio of 1.9. Basically, they owe almost twice the values of their equity. That can be risky, especially if gold prices fall or they hit operational bumps.
And profitability.
That's the other flag. A pre-tax profit margin of negative 2.9%. So currently, expenses are slightly higher than revenues before taxes.
A negative margin is definitely something to watch closely. And it seems there are efficiency concerns, too. Low asset turnover, low return on equity mentioned.
Yeah, that suggests they might not be squeezing as much revenue out of their assets as they could be, and the return to shareholders isn't maybe as high as hoped.
So not using assets effectively, maybe, and shareholder return lagging.
Potentially. However, it's important to balance that with the projected EPS of $1.55 for the upcoming fiscal year.
Ah, okay.
That suggests analysts are actually expecting a pretty significant turnaround in profitability. So you have this tension, current struggles versus future expectations.
So it's kind of a mixed financial picture then. Strong liquidity, which is good, but concerns about debt and current profit efficiency.
Okay.
Let's look at the stock performance history. Past isn't future, but it gives context.
What's really notable is the recent strong run-up. Past month of 14.101%. That's impressive when the S&P 500 actually lost ground in the same period.
Right, outperforming the market.
And over the past year, it's even better, a 58.7% return. That recent momentum shows growing investor belief.
That kind of outperformance, especially against a declining market, definitely catches your eye. Suggests investors see something specific and positive happening with Iamgold.
It signals a shift in sentiment, likely tied to those operational improvements we talked about. Now, thinking about where they fit in the broader gold industry, our sources call them an intermediate gold producer.
Okay.
But with a goal of becoming a leading Canadian gold producer, gives you a sense of their current size and where they want to go.
So not the biggest right now, but aiming high. The challenger with growth potential description seems to fit. Who are the big players they're up against?
Usually you think of companies like Barrick Gold, Newmont, much larger, more diversified operations, often globally.
So Iamgold is playing the same sandbox, just maybe a different part of it for now. What advantages might they have to help them climb the ladder?
Well, their focus on responsible mining, the zero-harm culture. That's increasingly important for ESG-focused investors.
True.
And of course, the growth potential from projects like Côté Gold is a big one. If that mine performs as expected, it could really boost their production and market standing.
That makes sense. ESG can be a differentiator. Okay, what about the analysts covering the company? We mentioned the positive target hikes, but what's the overall feeling?
It's interesting. Despite those positive notes, the current Zacks rank is #3. That's a hold.
Huh. So not all bullish then.
It suggests maybe not universal agreement. There's also been some recent downward revisions to earnings estimates.
So it's not a clear buy from everyone. Highlights the uncertainties, doesn't it? Need to keep watching.
Absolutely. Those downward revisions might reflect lingering concerns, perhaps about that debt or profitability we mentioned. Shows why you need to look at the whole picture, not just a few headlines.
Okay, standard question. Weighing the risks and opportunities, what are the key ones here?
Well, the whole gold sector has risks tied to gold price swings, right?
Yeah.
A big drop hurts everyone. Regulatory changes are always a possibility too.
Standard mining risks.
But the opportunities come from their strong financial position, that liquidity buffer, and their operational efficiency, especially if Côté delivers. That could really fuel growth.
So sector risks, but they seem positioned to leverage their strengths if things go well operationally. Any key dates or events coming up we should watch?
Definitely. The Q1 2025 earnings release. That's set for May 6th, 2025.
Okay, mark the calendar.
That report will give us the latest numbers, updates on Côté's progress, and just the continued performance of Côté itself will be absolutely critical for investor sentiment going forward.
Got it. Crucial updates coming. Lastly, the info mentions some management changes. Anything major there?
The appointment of Annie Torkia-Lagacé as Chief Legal and Strategy Officer suggests a focus there, strategy and legal. And 2 long-serving execs departing signals some transition at the top. Maybe not the main driver of the stock right now, but worth noting. Could influence strategy down the road.
Okay, so let's try and summarize this for folks listening. We've got a company, Iamgold, with really strong recent production growth, big potential ahead, mostly pinned on the Côté Gold Mine.
And the market, along with some analysts, has clearly reacted positively to that. Stock surge, target price increases.
However, it's crucial to keep the financial side in mind, especially the debt level and the current profitability margins, which aren't great right now.
And while analysts lean positive, that hold rating and some downward estimate tweaks show it's not unanimous, some caution is still warranted.
So ultimately what this analysis shows is a company at a really interesting point, wouldn't you say? Côté's success could be huge for them.
It could be, but delivering consistent profits and managing that debt load, those are the key things to track in their upcoming reports.
Which brings us to the final thought for you listening. How do you weigh that strong growth potential against these existing financial challenges and the sort of mixed analyst signals?
It's definitely not a simple picture, but hopefully this has given you a much clearer view of the key elements at play with Iamgold.
We hope this breakdown has been valuable. Thank you for bringing this diverse set of sources for us to explore. If you found this insightful, please do subscribe, like, and maybe leave a comment. We always appreciate hearing from you.